How's it going, everyone? Brian Harvey here. So, I'll get straight into it. Happy New Year and all that malarkey. So, I'm just watching Harsh's video on a article or an online article from something called Narnia Dispatches, which is titled Liam Payne's Own Beautiful War Against the Music Industry. Now, I suggest everyone go online and have a look at it. Also, go over to Harsh's channel and have a listen to his breakdown on this. Live Liam Payne War Against Music Industry Exposed. It went up roughly 8 hours ago today. So, and Harsh sent me this article and I've read it, and then I've only just come across his video, literally going through it all. Some interesting stuff there. Right, now, the issue with Liam and the how can I put it, the planned attack on Liam to begin his demise in the public eye seems to go back sort of three years, possibly 4 years. And one of the real turning points that I've picked up on it about Liam is, I don't know how many people have seen it, probably most of you have seen it that are watching this video. And it's the interview that, I think it was the Oscars, and Liam Payne was one of the only person, I think, to comment on the Chris Rock, Will Smith, when he slapped him at the Oscars, right? Because when you read this Narnia Dispatches, no other celebrities wanted to put their name or go on record and officially react to what they saw. The only person was Liam. Now, at that time, he had been dropped by his management company. They were claiming down to his lifestyle and his partying lifestyle, right? So the management company had dropped Liam. So he wasn't being managed, although he was hanging around with a guy that did work for the management, which were called Kin, that had just dropped him. And this guy, Steve, who also worked there, had left Kin and was, according to Narnia Dispatches, hanging around Liam and photobombing all of his photos. He's in all of the pictures. He's there all the time. I think Maya Henry's there as well at the Oscars with Liam. Although when Liam is put up to stand and talk and do the interview with a guy I think was from Good Morning Britain, who interviewed Liam, this same guy who interviewed Liam went to interview Kevin Costner, and Kevin Costner's manager is poking him in the back as if to say, don't get involved, mate, don't get involved, go on, get away. And he don't give a comment. But Liam does, because he's got no manager at the time. Although Liam refers to this guy as his manager, this Steve guy. But officially, he's unmanaged at the time. So, and I think Maya's there as well, but she's not in the interview with him.
Will Smith actually used to live behind my house. I've had the pleasure of knowing his son and his daughter very well, and we did Men in Black 3 with him. I believe whatever he felt that he did, he had the right to do. I also felt there were 3 losers in one fight. He didn't know, being Chris Rock. He didn't want to do what he had to do, being Will Smith. And she did nothing, being Jada. And it's a very sad thing, but there was a powerful moment for me to sit and watch one of the world's best emoters ever we've seen speak from the heart. And I would rather take the beauty out of the situation than take the pain. But I had to leave my chair, I'll be honest with you. It cut me really deep. And I don't get deep about these things, but I'm a big movie fan, I'll be honest with you. And out of a horrible moment, there was a little bit of beauty in what came on, and I'm sure everyone's very apologetic about what happened. Shouldn't have happened. But ask yourself, what would you do in the same situation? I don't know how we'd all react. We're all very human, right?
Yeah. Liam Payne, of course, formerly of One Direction. We're live on Good Morning Britain. Thanks for your reaction there. I mean, who should we be angry with? Chris Rock or Will Smith?
I don't know. Listen, I can't speak on this. I can't speak too hard on this because I met Chris when I was younger, and it was when we sold out Madison Square Gardens, and it was a very illusional time for me because I was a teenager who just sold out Madison Square Gardens. It's very strange. And I sat with him and we spoke for 20-30 minutes, and he was lovely. I also know Will Smith. My manager's worked with Will Smith in the past from the ground upwards, and like I say, he was my neighbour. But like I say, for me, I don't have a dog in this fight. There were 3 losers in this fight. And what happened is very sad. I hope everybody's okay. Like, I really reach out to you guys. I hope you're okay. And I don't want to expand a situation that doesn't need to be expanded any further. I think we all know what happened. And like I say, let's take the beauty out of it. We got to watch the world's best emoter ever speak from the heart. I've seen him in every situation, in every film he's ever done. And when he cries, I cry. When he laughs, I laugh. And it's a beautiful moment. And he spoke from the heart. So let's just take the positive out of it.
How should we move forward now, do you think?
I think we go on and have a fantastic evening. I can't believe I'm in LA again for the first time since COVID. I'm sorry to make you guys jealous from home, but it's fantastic to be out here. I feel a very fortunate boy. I mean, I'm from Wolverhampton originally, and I was brought up very humble beginnings, and I'm at the Oscars. So anything can happen if you stick to it, guys, you know what I mean?
Liam, it's incredible to see your journey from One Direction here in Hollywood. Our audience appreciate the time that you've taken to talk to us tonight.
No,
so thank you so much.
And I can't believe how young you are. That's fantastic.
We're both very young.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
Back to you, Susanna.
Thanks, Noel.
Amazing.
Was that okay? I hope I didn't fuck that up.
So Maya and this so-called hanger-on manager type person are they're not in the background poking Liam in the back and saying, don't do this interview. If anything, I believe this is the same type of scenario where the industry are about to start taking you down, as what happened to me. Now, my own takedown begun when I spoke about ecstasy, right? And the interview that I'd done in the green room at Top of the Pops before we was doing a performance on the last official E17 song with all original 4 in the lineup. It was a song called Hey Child. Now, there were some strange events before I done this interview. I wasn't woken up for a Des O'Connor performance on 3 hours sleep after doing our 3rd tour date in a row. I was told by the manager, this is really important. You can't not be there for this. You know, you've got to be on time. And I wasn't woken up for it. But then had a go at for not being there. When our tour manager would normally just open the door, come in, wake you up, come on, we got to hurry up. He didn't do that on this occasion. I woke up believing I was just about to get ready to go and do this Des O'Connor performance. And the tour manager said to me, no, it's all right, Brian, don't worry, they've done it. And I'm like, what? I'm thinking I've just had 3 hours sleep and getting up to go and do it. So this is kind of what they do to you. So that was one incident. I wasn't woken up for something that I was told was very, very important for me to be there and can't be late. By our tour manager, he didn't wake me up. Well, simple as that. That was on purpose, yeah. And then the ecstasy interview at Top of the Pops, which wasn't meant for me, it was meant for Tony. Yeah, and I can prove that because I've got the original article that he done with The Guardian.
Über was würdet ihr denn mal gerne reden? Was sind so die Fragen, die euch nie gestellt werden? Lasst ein bisschen was raus. Über was würdet ihr gerne reden? So let something out. What would you like to talk about?
Last night.
Was war letzte Nacht, Tony? What was wrong with last night?
Oh, we can't remember it.
So it was a late night then?
Yeah, we brought Charlie, our friend, to a party and he's great.
right? And someone was following up the story. I've just told the management what I think about them, and so the management gave them me to comment on something that was meant for Tony.
His job and wondering how on earth he got it so wrong.
Everyone was just trying to get hold of the audio so they can play people this extraordinary interview.
Because I've done pills myself, you know what I mean? I used to do dubs. I've done 12 one night, you know what I mean? Loads of them. I've been off it.
I would certainly regard any comments of that sort as wholly wrong.
Brian Harvey said the drug was safe.
Basically, he was saying, I love the drug that kills your kids.
It near enough completely ruined his life, you know?
Why don't you just please leave him alone? As far as I could see, the nation hated me.
All of Brian's friends, one by one, was stabbing him in the back, and that was the final cut.
The media turned on me, my own band turned on me, the management turned on me, and I might as well have been the bloke that sold that girl the pill that killed her.
Right? So this is how the industry plan your demise. So I've gone into the green room at Top of the Pops on our last record, sat down with a guy called Anthony Simon, who later went on to work for Downing Street as David Cameron's PR or head of communications or whatever you want to call him. But this guy was just starting out. His name was Anthony Simon, and he come in. He was working for International Regional News, IRN. And I've sat down in the green room at Top of the Pops. He's brought up the fact that Tony Mortimer gave some comments to The Guardian about ecstasy. Have you got anything to say about it? And obviously I'm quite honest and open, as most of you know on here now, quite outspoken and just tell things as they are. I did that, and by the next morning, I was public enemy number one.
It all went wrong on January the 15th, 1997. After 5 years at the top, the band were on Top of the Pops, performing Hey Child, their 11th hit single, which was riding high at number 3 in the charts. Back then, Anthony Simon was a young cub reporter in his very first job at IRN. The enthusiastic journo was hoping to get an interview with the group.
I rang Brian Harvey's management company and asked if I could get an interview with any member of E17, probably Tony Mortimer, because he was seen to be the chief of the band. They said, come down to the Top of the Pop studios and backstage we might be able to sort something out with you.
A couple of hours later, and Anthony was sat backstage hoping he might just get a few minutes chat to Tony. As the band came off stage, Brian was asked if he could spare 5 minutes to do the interview.
I thought, you know, why can't one of the others go and do it? No, Brian, I want you to do it. Go and do it on your own.
OK, so about 10 days before, the band's songwriter, Tony Mortimer, did an interview with The Guardian Gig Guide in which he made some throwaway remarks about ecstasy. The press at large didn't pick up on these comments, though Brian heard every word he said. Oh dear.
Now, I really wanted to speak to Tony Mortimer because he's the one who'd made comments about drugs in a previous interview. But as it turned out, I was told I was going to get Brian Harvey. Didn't have any say in the matter, so I accepted it.
And I went in, sat down, normal as anything, you know, done this a million times before.
What do you think of Tony's comments about saying that ecstasy was a better drug than alcohol? Do you agree with that?
Right. I'm going to fall into one here now.
And then he came out with the sort of words that no one could really quite believe, and I couldn't believe it at the time, that's for sure.
And even so far as to, in the Houses of Commons, John Major was even standing there, who was Prime Minister at the time, and putting the boot into me.
We regard any comments of that sort as wholly wrong.
You know, and pretty hypocritical, really, because, you know, the government are pretending that they care so much about children, yet have you seen the latest campaign or an AI TikTok advert made by our government just recently, where the government haven't bothered to check the lyrics of a song that they've used in an advert that they've made, Labour government, with regards to, I don't know, changes that are going to be made within the NHS and so on and so forth. But they put this advert up and the lyrics are about punching young girls in the pussy.
segurando. Olha a via, essa puta relaxando. Olha a pica, safada sem vergonha. Você toda na pica, doida de maconha.
With respect to Liam Payne and the interview on the red carpet to this guy that worked for Good Morning Britain or one of these channels, yeah, with Susanna Reid on it, I think. I can't remember which one it is. Don't watch mainstream TV. Liam Payne is the only celebrity that gave a comment on the Will Smith slap with Chris Rock. All of the other celebrities were deterred by their managers to not comment. Now, whether the guy that was this article refers to the guy that we don't know if he was his manager or not, as a hanger-on around Liam, was nowhere to be seen in the background of this interview, as were my management in my Ecstasy interview. So you're pushed out there to do this thing on your own.
As the band came off stage, Brian was asked if he could spare 5 minutes to do the interview.
I thought, you know, why can't one of the others go and do it? No, Brian, I want you to do it. Go and do it on your own.
Now, personally, apart from the weird accents that Liam was giving, because I can't understand what that was about, I can't whether he was doing it as a joke, it was a secret joke, then later he'd go, yeah, I've done it in that accent, what we spoke. I don't know. A lot of people were claiming, yeah, he was on drugs and, you know, and who's to say that the guy that was, you know, hanger-on, stroke manager, whoever he was, didn't give him gear before and then push him out there to go and do the interview. That would seem quite plausible to me if he was on drugs. But none of us can say for sure. But obviously the accent was weird. It almost sounded a bit Welsh.
I believe whatever he felt that he did, he had the right to do. I also felt there were 3 losers in one fight. He didn't know, being Chris Rock. He didn't want to do what he had to do, being Will Smith. And she did nothing, being Jada. And it's a very sad thing, but there was a powerful moment for me to sit and watch one of the world's best emoters ever we've seen speak from the heart.
And he's from Wolverhampton. So I don't know what the reason for that was, but I do know the reason for pushing him out there when no other celebrities were giving comment on the Will Smith slap, but Liam did. And Liam was there, he had nothing to promote, he wasn't selling anything at the time, he was unmanaged, and he's the only one that gives comment. And I believe he was pushed out there to do that, knowing that the next day, all hell was going to break loose. And the slaughtering of Liam Payne publicly was going to begin now. And that's exactly what happened. And that's exactly what happened to me with my interview at Top of the Pops in the Green Room with Anthony Simon. The next day I was public enemy #1. Same kind of thing as what's happening with Liam. But obviously Liam's, well, it was big scrutiny, both of us, him and me. And it carried on forever from that point. And does it affect you? Yeah, it does, massively, big time. Big time it affects you. Ruined my life. Ruined my life. And good job for me, I'm strong enough and I know that all of these people in the industry ain't worth a wank. So I say what I feel and fight back, knowing that I'm never going to have another record deal ever again. Do I care? Don't care. Don't want to be in their shitty world. It's crap. It's full of fake people. And when you're of no more use to these people, this is what is done to you. Which is why none of you out there have ever read a decent story about me. Not one. There's never been one. Not one. There was hardly any before that point, and definitely after the Ecstasy comment, there's not ever been one. And this is how you destroy someone publicly. And you all believed it. Everyone believed it. Everyone from that point, you know, I was turned into a joke. An unworkable joke that no one wanted to sign, Radio were reluctant to play any records that I made from that point. Again, it's another example of the industry pulling together, the mainstream media, the industry, radio, record labels. No one wanted to know. Everyone knew I could sing, everyone knew I could do the job, but everyone was reluctant to have anything to do with me because they thought, you know, it's going to be hard to sell him because of the press that he's had. And same with respects to Liam. He's going to be hard to sell because of the image that has been built up about him. So when I say follow the money, the record company are part of that industry. Right? Now, you've seen how I've been treated just recently. Stay Another Day coming back out, Christmas cards being printed, my image being put on sweatshirts and all kinds of stuff just in the Christmas just gone. Nothing I could do about any of it. Completely used. No good for a record deal or you know, to be used now in any kind of positive way. But reusing my voice, my image to sell something currently today. Even though, you know, couldn't get a record deal for love nor money. So I'm being used, even though I'm still alive, I'm being used still today, or have just been. Whether they're going to get another opportunity to do that, I don't know, unless I pass away. And you can guarantee all the albums will come back out. And this is what's happened to Liam. So this coordinated attack on Liam and the demise of Liam has started some years ago, which is why when you fast forward to today, or October the 16th, 2024, with Liam's passing, you are all being made to believe, because of people like TMZ and the media, that what's happened to Liam was his own fault. It's not his fault. None of this is his fault. Did he fall from a balcony? No, he didn't. Did he jump? No, he didn't. Did he throw a bag on the next floor down to the balcony that's supposed to be Brett Watson's, but he's changed his story? No, he didn't. Was he ever even at the hotel? I don't think so. Could that hotel have been empty? I believe so. Because they're doing a good job of making you believe, oh, Brett Watson had 15 guests there around him. Don't believe it. Believe your crisis actors. And you work for the people that run that hotel. Mob. TMZ. Who's it run by? Mob. The media. Who's it run by? The mob. Rupert Murdoch. What, he's not mafia? And people like him? Other moguls, news moguls? Well, you think it's not all run by the mob? Of course it is. Could someone have thrown him over the balcony? Well, he was far enough away from where he should have landed for that to be a possible option. But in broad daylight like that? No. Absolutely no way. Look at the pictures of the bag we see from a distance and Jeff Payne, Liam's dad, on the balcony. Right? Where was those pictures taken from? So that balcony could have been seen if someone was throwing him over. So that didn't happen. What I'm telling you is that this is a coordinated attack and planned unaliving of this guy. And it hasn't just been done in 5 minutes. This thing goes back 3 or 4 years. They knew what they was going to do. They had time to plan this whole thing. He's been unalived. And no one's ever going to change my mind on that. And while you're being made to look over here with Brian Payaz, or Payaz, or whatever you call him, and Rogelio Norres, nothing's going to happen to that bloke. I said this from day one. Nothing's going to happen to him. His charges have already been downgraded by a judge who didn't want anything to do with this case. You're fucking doing it. All right, I'll do it. Yeah, got to do it. Because it's all run by higher people that you don't say no to. He didn't fall, he didn't jump. I doubt he was even ever at that hotel. And I stand by that. Because they've done a good job on making you believe that there was people in and out of that hotel. None of us will ever know. Diana, the fan, says she saw him. He's just woke up at 3 o'clock. She's lying. Never saw him. You ain't got one picture of him. You're a liar. End of. Brett Watson, liar. Your whole crew of wedding people, lies. You're trying to make the hotel look packed. There was no one there, which is why you could stage and do whatever you wanted at that hotel. Even as far as getting a body double to run round the lobby so you can take security camera footage, which should be either 4K or 1080p in full colour, as we've seen colour photos, stills, supposedly, from the security camera footage. Yeah? And make them all grainy and black and white. Answer me why they're all grainy and black and white and we cannot see one clear picture of his face. Because it ain't him. It's not him. I know it sounds far-fetched. But do any of these official stories make any sense to you? No, they don't. Why can't you see his face? I ask you that one simple question. Why can't you see his face? Because this is all planned and it ain't him. They need to convince you that Liam was in the Casa Sur Palermo alive. He never was. If he was ever there, when they staged them photographs, when they staged those lobby photographs where all you had to do was take the sofa up into one of the rooms, position Liam, right, take photographs of him from a certain angle and then Photoshop that chair back in so it looks like he's in the lobby. Again, you can't see his face. Why? Because he's unalive in them pictures. And I don't care what anyone says. He was unalive in them pictures and they are going out of their way to produce images of Liam which make him look like he was in the Casa Sur, alive and manoeuvring about. Even though time codes don't marry up. There's not one clear picture of him. He was never there, not alive anyway. Did he jump? No, he didn't. Was he even ever in that room? I don't believe he was. Staged photographs of drugs. All the staged pictures. Looks like a film set. Why do all of this, you say? Well, why would they do that? For money. Don't you understand? Money, money, money. That's all these people care about. They don't care about your welfare or what's going on with you. They just drop you, as the record company did. And they probably want you to believe, oh, he got an email through on his laptop saying he was being dropped, so he went off on one. They've thought about this. They've gone through old articles, old videos, even, on Graham Norton. Oh, I met Puffy. Yeah, let's connect him to Puffy. Was there pink stuff in his system? No, there weren't. There weren't. Traces, they say, of cola. Yeah? Let's call it that. Traces. All traces could have come from, right, he's dead. Let's just rub it in his gums, push a bit up his beak. Yeah? That's it. Let that seep in the body. Traces. 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 Nothing there to make you go off in the way, what was it, 6-7 grams or whatever they were talking about? Rubbish. They've just gone over old stories where he said he's done things in the past and turned it into now. He's doing that now. When all of the signs that I saw were, videos, Snapchat videos that they took down, by the way, of him at Gons, which completely contradicts what they're saying about him. He looked well. He looked well. He looked well. Didn't look like he was on drugs. Didn't look like he was drunk and out of his nut. He looked well. The girlfriend getting out of there 2 or 4 days before. You loved him and we're getting married, but you leave him now. If you genuinely believed he had a problem, would you leave him there? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You got out of there so you can say, well, I'm not involved in what's happened to him. Yeah? That's what I believe. Maya Henry and that whole family. They know the Katinas. They know the Katinas. Yeah? And they know Roger, who's put himself on record in saying, I was with him just before. Yeah? He's being told what to do as well. Who by? The mob. The people above him. Maya Henry does a book. Basically, predicts how Liam's going to die. Oh, it's not about him. It's a fictional story. Fuck off. Yeah? You're involved, girl. And your family. And your family know the Katinas. What you call Maya and Azteca. Well, it's funny, isn't it? There's Mayan and Aztec pyramids as the logo of the people that own the hotels. You know, they all know each other. The Henrys know A-list celebrities. They're at parties with them. Everyone knows everyone. This was all around Liam. The geezer didn't stand a chance. While they're out there trashing his name. He's this, he's that. The scrutiny that Liam came under came from the industry. The same way mine came from the industry for making a public comment, which is the same way it started with Liam on that red carpet. No one else wanted to get involved and make a comment, but unmanaged and with no one around him, Liam gets put up. Maya and this Steve bloke, they're not in the background while he's being left to do that. Who's to say they didn't give him gig? Go and do that interview, knowing what was going to happen the next day, because it was planned, it was coordinated. They've done the same thing to him as what they done to me back in 1997. And some of you are going to find it hard to see it, but I see it. And then the symbolism as well. And again, people are going to be like, oh, it's a bit of a stretch. No, the music industry is full of the occult. Yeah, full of it. Aleister Crowley, Jimmy Savile, satanic ritual abuse. When did Liam die? 16th of October. The Hunter's Moon, a full moon. Oh no, just a coincidence, Brian. No, it fucking ain't. No, it ain't. It's not a coincidence. And again, people are still believing the official narrative. There was no drugs involved. There was no drink involved. This geezer has been unalived. He obviously knew something about people. They were frightened that he's not signed no more and he can go out there and he can start talking to people about things that he's seen, like I did. They got rid of him. And you need to understand that. That's why nothing's going to happen to Roger. They're trying to do it, make it look good. Even getting Brian Pyers' mother out to sit on an interview now and talk shit. Yeah? Brian Pyers has got the Freemason symbol tattooed around his neck. Don't ask me to not pay attention to that. He's holding up a phone with an all-seeing eye on it. You don't see Tony in the Gold video holding the same thing? You don't think Masons are involved in this? Grow up, man. Wake up, because you're looking in the wrong direction. You're looking in the wrong direction. They've got you all fooled, because if you're believing this cocaine story, then you believe that stage set up room, that was him, and he's smashing up the room and good morning from the hotel to it's all wrong. All of it is lies. Good morning. Good morning. What happened to him in the morning, did it? Ask yourself why every single picture of Liam where he's supposedly at this hotel you can't see his face. Just ask yourself that one question. Why? Because it ain't him. It ain't him. And I ain't fooled by none of this. And this is the record company. Yeah, this is the record company. And Simon Cowell, I believe. My opinion, my view. They're the ones that are going to profit from this. Simon Cowell's got a heart, has he? That's why he's trying to put together a new One Direction so close to Liam's death, and that's not jumping on the bandwagon. What, Simon Cowell doesn't cover up the abuse of people that he's had working with him on X Factor? He doesn't cover up for his global head of A&R when the geezer's done it twice to 2 different contestants, probably more. Probably more. You think Simon Cowell's a straight player? No. He used to have Max Clifford looking after him. A paedophile. Simon Cowell put up £50,000 bail money for paedophile Jonathan King. Well, you think he's all right, do ya? You think he ain't capable of this sort of stuff? These people are about money, mate. That's all they care about. And they set people up for their demise, their destruction, and sit back and watch it happen. And then make money out of their death. Wake up.